Hey friends, welcome back to Mr. Unspook, and as always, tonight we have a new creepy content for you. But before we begin, make sure to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. So I don't want to waste your time. Dim the light, pull off your blanket, or do whatever you do for relax, and let's begin the videos. Adrian Montenegro posted this video back in June of 2023, and at first glance, it looks completely harmless. It's just him and a few friends hanging out outside at night, laughing and messing around on some swings. Nothing strange, nothing creepy, and then you notice it.
Gente, denle despacito, no me la vayan a mandar al árbol arriba. No bajen los pies. Ahí era la buena.
No bajen los pies.
Oh, no.
If you look closely into the background, you can see what appears to be a humanoid figure standing in the darkness. It doesn't just stand there either. It takes a few steps, and then, even worse, it crouches down, like it's trying to stay hidden or lower itself out of sight. That movement is what really changes the feel of this clip. It doesn't look like a trick of the light or a static shape. It looks intentional. What makes it even more unsettling is that nobody filming seems to notice any of this at the time. There's no reaction. No pause, no sudden fear, just normal laughter, completely unaware of what's happening behind them. Imagine watching this back later and realizing your fun night on the swings wasn't nearly as empty as it felt. That something was back there, moving, watching, and then crouching down like it didn't want to be seen. This could, of course, be a hoax. Someone could have been positioned in the distance and decided to mess with them, stepping forward and crouching once they knew the camera wasn't focused on them. But if it isn't staged, then the idea that a humanoid figure was close enough to move, crouch, and still go unnoticed in the moment is genuinely disturbing. So what do you think this was? Someone playing a cruel joke in the dark, or something far worse quietly observing from the shadows? This footage was posted by a Jessica Duffy, who shared it to her TikTok account in May of 2021. And right from the start, it feels like this isn't the first strange thing that's happened in this house. At the beginning of the first clip, you can hear one of Jessica's kids casually saying, "I ain't scared of no ghost." It almost sounds playful, like they're joking around. But whatever might be in that house doesn't seem to appreciate the trash talk. Just seconds later, a door suddenly slams shut on its own, sending the kids into instant panic as they scream and scatter. It's a sharp, aggressive movement, not subtle at all, like something's making a point. Then Jessica uploads a second video, showing what starts out as a perfectly normal night inside the house until it turns into pure nightmare fuel. Out of nowhere, The lamp and fan short circuit, and you can see wires sparking and exploding inside the fixture. It's violent, sudden, and genuinely dangerous. Put together, the two clips feel like escalation. First, the door slam, then something going after the electricity itself. So what do you think's going on here? Is there something in Jessica's house reacting to the kid's bravado? Or is this just a very angry spirit making its presence impossible to ignore? And if that is the case, yeah, this ghost might seriously need some afterlife anger management. A YouTuber known as Terra Latente posted this video back in March of 2022, and it shows him wandering through what appears to be a hospital late at night and completely alone. Empty hospital hallways are unsettling enough on their own, especially after dark. The uploader moves through different rooms and corridors, seemingly searching for something. For the first part of the video, it feels like nothing's going to happen. And then, in the blink of an eye, it does. At around 1:14, if you look closely, you can make out what looks like a small, ghostly child standing in a doorway. Because the camera pans so quickly, it doesn't seem like the uploader even noticed it at the time. If you slow the footage down significantly, the figure could be explained as a visual illusion, motion blur, shadows, or the camera catching something mid-pan that briefly forms a human shape. At normal speed, though, it's hard not to see what looks like a child standing there. And considering the location, it's easy to see why people jump to darker conclusions. Hospitals are places tied to loss and tragedy, so the idea of a child spirit appearing, even for a split second, hits especially hard. So what do you think this was? A trick of the camera, or something genuinely unsettling caught at the worst possible moment? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This next one's short and sweet. The video was uploaded to TikTok by a user known as WTFJBL, and according to the post, it was sent to them by a night shift nurse working at this hospital. The footage shows the nurse slowly panning the camera around the dark, empty hospital late at night. She appears to be completely alone, moving through dim hallways where everything already feels unsettling. And then, this happens. This isn't one of those blink and you miss it moments. The figure is pretty obvious. You can clearly see what looks like a human-shaped presence standing in the hallway. What makes it interesting, though, is what happens next. The nurse pans the camera away, then pans back again, and the figure is completely gone. No movement, no transition, just there 1 second, and absent the next. That sudden disappearance does give the clip a bit of a hoax vibe, especially since the timing feels almost too clean. If someone stepped out of frame or the moment was staged, this exact camera movement would make it easy to sell the effect. Still, hospitals at night are unsettling places on their own, and seeing a figure standing there, even briefly, is enough to get your heart racing, fake or not. So what do you think this was? A staged scare sent in for attention? Or something that didn't stick around long enough to be explained? And if you've ever worked night shifts in a hospital, I'd love to hear if you've seen anything similar. A man named Antonio Petroni posted this video to his TikTok account, and it shows him quietly moving through his house late at night, seemingly after hearing something that startled him. As he cautiously walks through the hallway, staying unusually quiet, he turns a corner, and that's where things get genuinely unsettling.
Claudia, Arosta. Claudia, här röstar jag.
Out of nowhere, a children's scooter that was clearly standing completely still suddenly begins to move on its own. It rolls through the hallway and even turns the corner, like someone's guiding it. But when Antonio follows and turns the corner himself, the scooter is just sitting there again, motionless, almost like it never moved at all. The video's short and doesn't offer much context, which honestly makes it creepier. There's no build-up, no explanation. Just a child's toy going from perfectly still to moving with purpose, then stopping the second it's approached. If this was staged, it would have required someone hidden out of view to pull it with some string and to then quickly hide. But if Antonio was truly alone, then watching a stationary toy suddenly start moving through the house on its own is the kind of thing that sticks with you. And if you lean toward the paranormal explanation, there's something especially eerie about a child's toy being used when nobody's there. Almost innocent on the surface, but deeply unsettling in practice. So what do you think? A setup we're not seeing, or something unseen taking a late-night ride through the house? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. At the very start of this video, posted by Ethan Ryder, you can tell something's seriously wrong. His breathing is shaky, his hands are trembling, and he sounds genuinely terrified, like he's bracing himself for whatever's on the other side of the door. When he finally opens it, the first thing standing there is an adorable cat. But that's not what Ethan's afraid of. The real problem is a little farther out.
And I look up to see this shit. What the? I'm gonna go look over. Real quick. Y'all see it? Oh, y'all see that though? Is this disappearing? Nobody at all. What the? This is scary.
Out in the field, you can clearly see a dark, human-shaped figure standing completely still. It doesn't rush him. It doesn't wave or react. It just stands there, watching him in silence. The figure remains in place for around 15 to 20 seconds, long enough for the moment to really sink in, and then it slowly retreats out of view. After a moment, Ethan tries to pull himself together and does something I'm not sure most people would have the courage to do. He actually steps outside and walks toward this spot where the figure was standing just moments earlier. And when he gets there, there's nothing. No movement, no sign of anyone. The figure is gone, like it was never there to begin with. Could this have been staged? Of course, someone positioned at a distance, stepping away once the camera was rolling. But what makes the clip unsettling is how long the figure stays put and how calm it appears. There's no obvious panic, no sudden movement, just silent observation. And the fact this happens in broad daylight, out in the open, is what really messes with people. Shadow figures are usually associated with dark rooms and nighttime encounters, not open fields where you expect to feel safe. So what do you think Ethan saw out there? A person messing with him from a distance, or something far stranger, watching from the fields in plain sight? Let me know your theories in the comments. This next clip from TikTok user The First Sinner is the kind of thing that makes your stomach drop, especially if you've ever worked late shifts alone. The video shows the uploader during the closing hour at a swimming pool. At that point, they're supposed to be completely alone in the building, locking things up in an otherwise empty space. But they aren't alone. Peeking out from a door frame in the distance, you can see a person watching the uploader. What immediately stands out is their eyes. They appear completely black, with no visible whites at all. The figure doesn't step fully into view, they just linger there, staring, before slowly retreating back out of sight a few seconds later. That behavior alone is terrifying. It doesn't look like someone who wandered in by accident. It feels deliberate, like they're checking whether the uploader notices them. And those eyes raise another unsettling possibility. There's a well-known urban legend about black-eyed children, figures that appear human, but with pitch-black eyes and deeply disturbing behavior, often showing up in places they shouldn't be. Whether you believe in that legend or not, it's hard not to think about it when you see something like this. Of course, it could still be a real person messing with the employee. Someone lurking, hiding behind a door frame, stepping back once they realize they've been noticed. It could also be a hoax. Either way, paranormal or not, this is one of those clips where there's no comforting explanation. Someone or something was there, watching. So what do you think this was? A disturbing human encounter? A setup for the camera? Or something straight out of an urban legend? This video was uploaded to YouTube back in December of 2011 by a man named Luther McGill Jr. He explains that he was on his phone using the iChat app, just messing around with some settings when he suddenly heard a strange noise coming from behind him. Now it is worth pointing out that it's a little convenient that he just happened to be filming himself when all of this went down. Most people don't record themselves tweaking phone settings. Still, the timing is what makes this clip so strange. Take a look.
Gamefly also offers gift certificates for the game on your level. Save up to 20%.
At around the 20-second mark, you can see one of the kitchen cabinets behind Luther slowly open all by itself. A second later, something suddenly flies out of the cabinet and crashes to the floor, causing Luther to whip his head around in confusion. He stands up to investigate, clearly startled, but the only thing he finds is the object lying on the ground. There's no sign of anyone else in the room, and nothing obvious that explains how it happened. Because this video dates all the way back to 2011, there were never any real updates or explanations afterward. The clip just exists on its own, leaving people to argue about what really happened. So what do you think? A perfectly timed setup or something unseen rummaging through Luther's cabinets? And if it was a ghost, maybe it was just checking to see if he had any snacks worth stealing. Let me know your theories in the comments. Back in January 2011, a YouTuber known as Mr. Snowman uploaded a video where he explains he was home alone in the middle of the day, casually playing Fallout New Vegas. Nothing unusual, nothing creepy, until he starts hearing strange noises coming from somewhere else in the house. At first, he brushes it off, but the sounds keep happening. Eventually, he starts wondering out loud if it could be a ghost. So he grabs his camera and begins walking around the house, deciding to actually talk to whatever might be there. He asks if anyone's present. No response. Then he asks a much worse question, whether it intends to hurt him. A second or two later, this happens.
Do you want to hurt me?
there's definitely something here.
A sudden, loud noise erupts nearby, instantly rattling him. He backs away, clearly shaken, and then notices something happening right in front of him.
Yeah, there's definitely something in here. That came from Noah's room. What the shit? You see that? What the Hey, why are you moving that paper? Why are you moving the newspaper? What the shit? God damn it.
A newspaper lifts up by itself, and shortly after, a bedroom door slowly closes on its own. No one's near it. No explanation in sight. At this point, Snowman moves into another room, maybe thinking distance will help, but if anything, it just gets worse.
What's so special about in here? I think it's in his room. What the What the God damn it!
Once again, the bedroom door closes by itself, and this time a box is violently thrown to the floor, sending him into full panic. Could this be staged? Possibly. Objects could be pulled by strings, doors notched just out of frame. Early YouTube was full of experiments like this, but what makes the clip unsettling is the timing, especially the reaction immediately after he asks if it will hurt him. It feels like a direct response. If it isn't fake, then this crosses into classic Poltergeist territory. Noises, objects moving, doors shutting, escalation once attention is given. To this day, there's never been a real explanation or follower. The video just sits there, another early YouTube mystery frozen in time. So what do you think? An old school hoax? Or something answering him back when it shouldn't have? And maybe think twice next time you're home alone, gaming, and decide to ask the house a question. TikTok user Music Lover posted this video in June 2025, and according to the description, the footage wasn't even recorded by them. Instead, it was sent to them by their dad, who says it was filmed by caretakers working at the uploader's uncle's shared home. That alone adds a layer of unease. This isn't someone actively filming for social media. It's footage passed along because it genuinely disturbed the people who witnessed it. The uploader explains that their dad believes the video shows the spirit of their grandpa, possibly haunting their uncle. But Music Lover doesn't fully agree. They say whatever's happening in the clip feels far too violent to be him. Let's take a look. Throughout the footage, multiple strange things happen inside the house before the video abruptly ends. Objects move, the atmosphere feels chaotic, and there's a sense that whatever's present isn't just trying to be seen, it's acting out. In the description, Music Lover says that after watching this, they genuinely don't know what to think anymore, describing themselves as completely flabbergasted by the whole situation. So what do you think? Could this really be a deceased family member trying to make contact? Or does the aggressive nature of what we're seeing suggest something else entirely? We may never know for sure, but let me know your theories in the comments. This next video shows the TikTok user inside the halls of an abandoned prison, and it's immediately clear this place has been left to decay. Thick layers of rust and grime coat the walls and bars, and the entire building feels heavy, like it's still holding on to everything that happened there. And almost right away, something deeply unsettling happens.
What the? That's some creepy ass shit. Hold on, no, I want to see this shit. Ain't none of this. I am.
One of the prison cell doors can be seen opening and closing over and over again on its own. It isn't subtle. It isn't a one-time movement. It's persistent, like something's deliberately interacting with the cell, replaying the same motion again and again. That's what makes this so disturbing. Prisons are places of routine, confinement, and repetition. Doors opening, doors closing, days blurring together. Watching that cell door move like this feels less like random activity and more like something reliving a pattern it was never allowed to escape. If there really is something paranormal here, it's easy to imagine a former inmate still tied to that cell. Someone who never left even after the prison itself was abandoned. Not raging, not violent, just stuck. So what do you think's happening in this cell? A spirit trapped in the same space it once suffered in? Or something else entirely? Still haunting the corridors long after everyone else moved on? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.